us now to talk about what other headwinds we face here on cybersecurity. CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz. George, welcome. You know, that hack may have slipped under the radar a little bit with all the election drama, the year end, the pandemic. What's the impact of it? What have you seen from companies and government agencies that you deal with as a result?
Well, I think once again, there's a heightened awareness of how important cybersecurity is, and it goes beyond just an annoyance of having your computer infected. It really goes to business resiliency. And there isn't a board of directors on the planet that isn't talking about cybersecurity right now and making sure that they can shore up their defenses. They've got visibility and the ability to detect and prevent these really determined adversaries.
SolarWinds did disclose in their recent 8K that one of the first actions they took was to deploy CrowdStrike. Has that disclosure had a positive impact overall on your business and your ability to gain new customers?
Well, we've worked closely with SolarWinds. We're doing the response work for them as well as deploying our software. And I spent some time with their new CEO. And they're really focused on building security by design and pushing forward from this event. So, you know, that's where our focus has been. Obviously, you know, we were the company that was called in, I think, because we've got the right technology and the people. But right now we're heads down helping customers get through this, like SolarWinds. And certainly, again, I think it highlights how sophisticated of an attack this really was. And more of the attack details, I'm sure, will be coming out shortly.
George, clearly there's been a lot more hacks in the last year or couple of years, and we're talking about things like that much more often. Though with work from home and the pandemic, we're also using our devices way more. So in a relative basis, have we actually got a lot better at preventing hacks, or have we not yet?
Well, this year was the worst on record for cyber attacks. And I think, you know, collectively, the industry, government need to get together and really think about how we beat back these attacks. Obviously, technology is one element, and CrowdStrike plays a big part there, but it's people, it's process, it's the regulatory environments. You know, what do we need to do to collectively come together? The problem is not getting any better. It's only getting worse. And it isn't just the technology solution that's out there. We certainly play a big role in it, but there are a lot of other players and a lot of other constituents that need to come together on this really serious and important topic.
I was talking, George, to one of your big fans of your stock, Josh Brown, who's a contributor here at CNBC. I think you know he's a big long-term fan of CrowdStrike, and he was trying to explain to me the difference between what you do and what some of the other cybersecurity firms do. And part of it is the breakdown of revenues into the SWAT incident business and then the recurring revenues. Can you just talk about how that works and why that's been such a successful model to set you apart?
Sure. Well, I'm a fan of Josh's, and I really do think he gets our business model, so I appreciate those comments. So when you look at our model, 90+% of our revenue is all subscription-based, annual recurring revenue, no perpetual licenses. We have a small services element, but it's very strategic, and that's like the SWAT team that gets called into cases like SolarWinds to come in and basically look at what happened. How do we forensically examine the attacks? How do we make sure that we can recover and bring these companies back to health? And we learn from these attacks, right? We learn what the adversary is doing. That all goes back into our software and ultimately creates a better product. But that creates a lot of pull-through for us, where we're able to come in and turn that service revenue into multiples of subscription revenue. So it's a small element. We keep it small by design, but it's very strategic. And we are one of the preeminent companies that get called in on these very large breaches.
How many hacks overall do you feel are identified? You said it was a record year for cyber attacks last year. Is that based on the ones you've identified? And what percentage of the total do you think that would have been?
Well, that's just in general. Business is booming. If you look at e-crime, if you look at ransomware, it's up. And just in the number of attacks that we prevented, hands-on keyboard breaches, we prevented more than double last year. So, you know, we know what we see, but in general, unfortunately, there's a lot of other companies and areas of the industry that they don't even realize they're being attacked. And you know, I think some of these recent attacks show how long these adversaries can be in an environment and how patient they are and how organized they are to be able to attack these systems and be very stealthy, which is, again, why we created a platform like Falcon, which is our CrowdStrike platform, focused on detecting and preventing breaches and leveraging all this very rich data powered by AI to see things that haven't been seen before.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.